Riders, welcome back to the channel. Today we are here at RC Hill Honda dealership in DeLand, Florida, and we are going to be test riding the NC750. This is going to be the DCT model. I'm going to go ahead and turn it on, and it's kind of a quirky feature. You have to hold it ignition all the way down, and here we are cycle. So meaning being that this is going to be a DCT transmission, it's always going to start in neutral, and you're going to see there's no lever here. I'm going to go ahead and put it in drive, and it's going to be basically like a scooter. We're going to go ahead and just give it some gas and just go. I have ridden, if you haven't seen those videos in my channel, I've ridden the Rebel 1100 DCT. I've also ridden the Goldwing that you see in front, not that one, but you know, one from 2021. And I've also ridden the Africa Twin DCT model. One of the best things about the DCT transmission is just how easy it is to use. You will be surprised how comfortable it is to get on a DCT motorcycle and get it going. Many people think it's a regular, automatic transmission. They will be confused. This is going to be a dual clutch transmission, so it literally is going to ride a lot better than your typical automatic, I would even say, car. I mean, this technology has been around for years. Honda has been perfecting this technology, and here we are, 2022. So the DCT model NC750, it's going to have, and this is going to be specific as well for the regular 6-speed transmission. There's going to be a massive 23-liter storage down here. So unlike your regular motorcycles that you have your gas tank up here in this area, you're going to have a 23-liter storage, and you're going to have a 3.6 gallon tank under the seat. The NC750 has a 31.6 inch seat height, which means it's going to have a very low seat, and it's going to be basically, it's going to be comfortable for riders of all heights. Just for reference, if you look down here, I am 5'10". I have a 30 to 31 inch inseam, and as you can see, I am flat footing the motorcycle, so no issues there. The NC750 comes equipped with a 17-inch front and rear wheels. It has a 4.7. You're gonna get a 4.7 suspension travel. I believe it's gonna be the same in the front as well as in the rear. And this motorcycle over here is gonna be powered by a parallel twin. So it's gonna be a 750cc parallel twin. It's gonna be mated to a 6-speed DCT transmission, and it's gonna be pushing a little bit over 50 horsepower, and the same thing for torque numbers. So it's not going to be a very powerful motorcycle, but it's going to be a motorcycle that's going to go ahead and get many riders comfortable into riding. The DCT transmission comes equipped with 4 different riding modes, and I'm going to show you here in a second. You're going to be able to see over here to our left, we have your different. The Honda DCT has the Honda DCT, being that it's automatic, has a parking brake. Letting us go here, thank you guys. The Honda 750 DCT that we're currently riding has an e-brake. So the e-brake is going to be right over here. So let's say you're going to be parked on a hill, you literally pull it back, you're going to be able to see the P for parking flash here, and that's going to let you know that you have engaged your, basically what you could refer to as emergency brake. The DCT comes equipped with 4 different riding modes. So those modes are going to be, and I'll show you here. So right now we are riding in standard. So it's going to have standard, it's going to have sport, it's going to have rain, and it's also going to have a user one that you're able to customize to your liking. So many riders like to do the user one because you're able to basically adjust the way you want your, like your engine braking, or the way you want the throttle to accelerate. So the user mode gives you, as a rider, that advantage. So on standard mode for the transmission is going to ride very, and the motorcycle as a whole, you're going to notice that your motorcycle is going to do some early shifting. versus if you put the motorcycle in sport mode, the transmission itself is going to actually stay in place longer, and it's going to make it a more sporty feel. The NC750 being throttled by wire has different riding modes. The only thing that is lacking that I'm going to have to say that I was actually kind of disappointed as soon as I got on it was the fact that there is no cruise control. You have the ability to do different riding modes, but there is no opportunity for you to have cruise control. So if we look here, over here we're going to be able to change our riding mode. So right here we're going to be in sport. You have one more, which is going to be the user friendly one that I said earlier, rain, and standard one. So again, sport, user, rain, standard, and sport. I'm going to ride it in sport just because I like the way the motorcycle feels when you're riding in sport. Over here on mode, this is going to be able to cycle through the different menus of your motorcycle. So as you can see, we're going to go through your average fuel, miles, and then go through here through your sport. So over here to our left, down here, you're going to be able to see that we have this is going to be your paddle shifter. So you have negative, which is going to be you're going to be shifting down. There's going to be one over here on the front, and that one is what it's going to do. You're able to shift up. So let's see if we're able to get here. Once we're on the next slide, I'll show you how you're able to switch the DCT transmission from automatic to manual mode 100%. So as you're able to see, once you actually have the rider setting on sport, the gears are being held a lot longer. You're able to see your RPM gauge over here, so you're gonna be able to see that we stay in the RPM a lot longer, and the motorcycle actually feels great. One neat feature that you don't really see from motorcycles in this size, it's going to be that your fuel economy. The Honda NC750 averages on a regular basis anywhere between 60 to 70 miles a gallon. So think about it, so you have a motorcycle that's giving you that literally is going to weigh over 400 pounds. I believe it's going to be 428, 420 plus pounds. You have a 750cc engine, and it's giving you anywhere between 60 to 70 miles a gallon. So when you look at your overall tank size, which is going to be a 3.6 gallon tank, that's going to mean that you're going to have a cruising range of over 180 to 200 miles. So depending how good you're going to be with your with your throttle wrists, you're going to be able to maximize your miles per gallon. A beauty about DCT models is going to be the fact that you're able to either upshift or downshift on the fly. So right now, as you can see, we're going to be on sport mode here, and let's say I want to go ahead and shift down. I'm able to go ahead and shift down, as you saw. So we went from 4th gear to 3rd, or you're able to just go ahead and just upshift. So we go from 3rd to 4th. We can even do well, in this case it's not letting you do 5th. If you have it on standard mode, typically this speed already will be the RPM will be able to let the motorcycle go ahead and drop a little bit. So but that's one neat feature that we have from your DCT transmission. So let's see, I believe we're going to be making a left or right here. I just gotta figure out where we're going. So we're doing this demo ride with Honda, so there's a group, there's a large group of riders here, so the speeds are going to be tamed. There's not going to be a lot of test the limits of the motorcycle. So let's see. So as I mentioned earlier, you're able to switch your riding modes as well on the fly. The one thing you're going to have to do is you're going to have to just let go of your throttle, otherwise the motorcycle is not going to be able to switch into the desired riding mode. So as you see, we came to a stop. The motorcycle is in 1st gear. I have to do nothing. There's no holding clutch, there's nothing like that. You just literally you just let it go and you just go. Honda, apparently from what I was reading, they do a nice 25-mile loop that takes around 30 to 45 minutes. So it gives you a good demo of the motorcycle in case you're going to be a prospective buyer. So let's say that we are riding right now, as you can see, we're riding on D. That's going to be for automatic. Let's say you want to switch that to manual. You press the RM here, and that's going to be for riding mode. So riding to manual. So Now we are on manual. As you were able to see on the dash here, the D disappeared. That means right now you're riding on manual mode. And the beauty about manual is that you're able to actually control your shifting. Many riders complain, or they were thinking that it was going to be an issue. You know, they're thinking automatic transmission, they're thinking of a car, they're thinking, you know, how about if I want to go ahead and you know roll my own gears. That's the beauty of the DCT from Honda. It gives you the ability to ride in your desired riding mode, whether it's going to be sport, standard, rain, or user. And then it allows you the ability to select to ride it in drive, or automatic mode, or M for manual. So as you can see, we're still riding in manual. It's holding the gear. If I wanted to downshift again, I'm gonna go ahead and hold it there. And as you can see, we're now reaching almost 4,000 RPM there, and the motorcycle is holding steady. So let's go ahead and switch now back to drive. So the way you're gonna do it is you're gonna go ahead and press over here, and guess what? We're back in drive. So now the motorcycle is gonna do the, you know, all the shifting, and you don't have to worry about anything but ride the motorcycle. So I have to say, once you sit on it and once you start riding it, it's very easy to get used to it. You might think, oh, you know, it's going to be difficult. I'm going to have a hard time adjusting to riding the DCT transmission. Honestly the contrary. Once you sit on a DCT motorcycle and you start riding it, you're going to be like, oh my god, where has this been my whole life? Because you don't have to now worry about shifting, you don't have to worry about engaging the clutch, which is, you know, two things that actually scares a lot of riders. So the fact that Honda is doing this at the 750 trim, and then onto your Rebel, as well as your Goldwing and your Africa Twin, it definitely gives riders different choices in motorcycle, as far as, you know, what motorcycle you want to do. If you want to go ahead and get into a cruiser like motorcycle, you get into a, you know, the Honda Rebel, like the one we have up here. Let's say you want to do something a little bit more, you know, like a light touring motorcycle. I would think that the NC750 here is going to be a great thing. Let's say you want to do some off-roading, like the Africa Twin that we have up front. Then again, you could just go ahead and get that one. Or if you want to do some long distance touring, you could do the Goldwing. So what I'm trying to say is, guys, Honda thought of all that before they released their models. So they're basically giving you and giving the riders a option, you know, of different type of motorcycles that you typically wouldn't see on any other manufacturer. So the only motorcycle that you're going to see with DCT transmission is only going to be from Honda. Anything automatic is going to be from other manufacturers. Is going to be just basically your big scooter. So let's see here. So I believe we're going to be making a turn. Oh, I believe that's what he has his turning signal for. All right, guys, so let's change to standard mode so I can show you what's... Oh, no, we couldn't do it. So I have to say that yes, it does feel a little bit under power. I mean, we're talking that you have a motorcycle that weighs over 400 pounds. You have, you know, a little bit over 50 horsepower, a little bit over 50 foot-pound of torque. So she does feel somewhat under power, but that's one of the trade-offs that you're gonna get with this motorcycle. You're gonna be riding this, if you ask me, it's going to be a motorcycle that you're riding for comfort. It's a motorcycle that many riders might actually buy it for the convenience of the storage in here. So let's say you have to do some groceries, you could go ahead and you have 23 liters worth of storage here. While you're inside the grocery store, you're able to go ahead and put your full face, you know, your full face helmet in here without having to worry about, you know, it disappearing. There's the DCT 750 is not going to come standard with hard saddlebags, so that's going to be something that you're going to have to buy aftermarket. The same thing with a top case. It doesn't come with a top case, so if you want any of those features, that's going to be something that I believe Honda might actually sell you, or you're able to go ahead and buy from, you know, either GV or some of the other, you know, outfitters out there. So as you can see, there is going to be a stationary shield here. It's wide enough that it actually doesn't feel uncomfortable. Some motorcycles with this type of shield will not give you enough wind protection, but I actually don't feel the wind trying to hit me back or anything like that. So I actually feel very comfortable as we're riding here. We're doing 45 miles an hour right now, and the wind is not as noticeable as you would with some other motorcycles, for example the Rebel that we have in front of us. So it's actually very comfortable. I like the fact that since it's going to be low to the ground, so 31.6 inches of seat height. However, you do feel very comfortable. As you can see here, and we'll look at this side on my left hand side, there's not gonna be you're not gonna feel like it feels uncomfortable. If anything, if you see here where the tank is typically is, which is gonna be your storage compartment here, my knees actually fall right in line over here. So for example, that Rebel that we see in front over here, since it's a very low motorcycle to the ground, if you're a taller rider like I am, I mean, by all means, I'm not a giant, I'm only 5'10", my knees literally are sitting at the top of the tank. So as you can see there, I mean, she picked up speed fairly good. It's nothing that is gonna pull you off the seat, but it's able to pick up fairly good, and you're able to go ahead and get going. As we see, we're riding in sport mode. If this would have been in standard mode, the pickup and go would have been a little bit different, but the fact that we're in sport mode is able to hold the gears longer, which is going to keep you right there on the RPM range. As you can see, we're going to have a very low revving machine. This parallel twin, it's going to rev at 7,000 RPM, so that's going to be the red line. So when you compare this to other motorcycles with other parallel twin engines or your typical inline four, it's going to have a very low red line. So, you know, something to think about. I mean, it's not really going to make a difference once you're riding, but just, you know, just good to know if you're going to be buying this motorcycle. So alright guys, so here we are at the light. Let me show you how the e-brake works. So let's say you're sitting at a hill, you need to go ahead and, you know, park your motorcycle. You pull here, and it's going to show you here. Watch, we're going to pull here, and you're going to see it pulls this out. So it's going to show you right now that we're in parking. We are in parking, and as you can see, your motorcycle stays in first gear. So you pull it back and you let it go, and guess what? The parking went off. Your emergency parking just went off. Let's say you want to go ahead and get off the motorcycle. You're able to put it in neutral here. So look how easy it is. We're in first, and we're now in neutral. So very easy. It's not going to be hard to maneuver. So you see, my hands are nowhere. The brake will be on this side. My foot is not on the brake. We're in neutral. Let's go ahead and put it in drive. So you see, it just went into drive. The motorcycle is not moving. So that's actually something that's going to be very nice about it. You don't have to worry about it. Now keep in mind, as soon as you hit the throttle and you're in drive, just know that you're going to go ahead and go off the motorcycle. So keep that in mind. So one neat feature that Honda built into the system here, it's going to be the fact that you're able to switch through riding modes on the fly. Some motorcycles you have to, from other manufacturers, and I can recall, I believe it's KTM, in order for you to be able to switch from your riding mode to a different riding mode, you're going to have to go ahead and have the motorcycle off the throttle. Not this one. So we're here on sport. Let's say we want to go ahead and switch to standard. Here we are. We're in standard mode. So, and let's say we want to do rain. Here we are in the rain. So you switch it, you let go of the throttle, and now the rain mode has been activated. So let's go ahead and put it back in standard. So here we are. So we're in standard. All you have to do is switch the riding mode that you want to do, and from there you briefly let go of the throttle, and you're able to do it. As you can see, we're holding the gears very good right now. We have it on sport mode, but if you switch the motorcycle to standard, and I'm going to show you guys right now what I mean. We're in standard mode now. Typically the shifting is going to be a lot quicker. As you can see, we just went from 4th gear all the way up to 6th. So the standard is going to be almost how do I say it? The standard mode is almost going to be, it almost feels like it's actually made it for the lowest fuel consumption possible. So versus if you had it on sport mode, and I'll show you guys right now. Let's say we're back in sport mode. Here we are. It automatically switches back to 4th gear because the way they have the mapping set up, it thinks that you want to go ahead and give the motorcycle all she got. So let's switch it back to standard here. You let go of your throttle again. As you see, it stopped flashing. That means it engaged. So let's see how she responds here. I believe we're going to do a straightaway, so you're able to compare what the motorcycle is able to do between your sport mode and your standard mode. So we're coming to a stop here. So man, that Goldwing is beautiful. So it's one of those things that is a thing of beauty, and that new color they did for 2022 is unbelievable. Okay, let me see if we're able to show you here. Okay, here we go, guys. So we're in standard mode. So it wasn't as big of a straightaway as I was hoping for, but you're able to see the response is not going to be as fast as you would on sport mode. So the suspension, guys, the suspension honestly feels very soft. It's like almost bouncy. So which, you know, some people might like, some people might not like it, but what I have to say is that a lot of the you don't really feel yourself going over the potholes, you know, crevices, anything on the roads, because of how smooth it feels. So as I said earlier, the NC750 comes equipped with 17-inch tires, and the one thing is, just like your Honda Rebel, the DCT 750 is gonna come equipped with a single disc. So you're gonna get a single disc in the front, you're gonna get a single disc in the back. So, but I have to say, it does feel like it has really good stopping power. The NC750 comes equipped with ABS, so you don't have to worry about not being able to come to a full stop when you should. So I don't know if you're able to get it on video, but the response when you have it on standard is, you know, the motorcycle almost feels like it's like jerking, so it doesn't feel like that much power as you would on sport mode. For that reason, when I rode the Africa Twin, the Rebel, as well as the Goldwing, I always rode them on sport mode because the motorcycle feels like a brand new motorcycle. It honestly feels like you're riding something completely different than what you're riding, especially when you think about the Goldwing, which is going to be you know, over 700-pound gorilla. So what do I like about the Honda NC750 DCT? It's a great way to get into a bigger motorcycle without having to worry about shifting. Some people buy DCT motorcycles because it's going to be easier for them to get back into riding, primarily if you have a left hand injury. As you know, this hand is what you're primarily going to use for your clutch, so being able to not worry about clutch is going to be great. You don't have a shifting pedal, however, I believe that's going to be an option, just like you're able to get it for the Africa Twin. If you wanted to, you're able to get that shifting option, so you'll have the ability to be able to shift over here on your handlebars, and you also have the ability to shift on your foot. I also like that it has a fairly decent price point. It is going to be priced at $9,200, so $9,200. It gives great miles per gallon, 65 plus consistently, and I've seen even riders, for example, getting 70 plus on a regular basis. Then what some people don't consider when they buy a motorcycle, and I believe that's something that you should always consider, is the cost of operation. Honda is known for basically just changing your oil, changing your fluids, and just go. And I believe that's going to be the same, you know, the same case for this for the NC750. So low operating costs. You're going to have great fuel consumption. You're going to have a dual clutch transmission, and there's no shifting. Now, my one downside would be is I believe you should be able to have a little more power, but other than that, I don't see any other downsides. And one more upside that I like about the motorcycle is going to be the fact that you have this storage right here where your tank would typically be. You get 23 liters of storage, so that makes runs to the grocery store, you know, runs to go ahead and get some beer a lot more comfortable and a lot more maneuverable once you have this storage right over here. So now my last downside for the DCT is going to be, and it's going to be the same thing for whether you have the DCT or the 6-speed manual transmission, the lack of cruise control. It is my belief that any motorcycle that is coming out now, especially when you have a throttle by wire, I mean, you're able to select the riding modes. How much more does it cost Honda to be able to add a cruise control to the motorcycle? So unless you want to go ahead and do like a throttle lock, you might be able to get an option for like one of the aftermarket outfitters out there, but those usually cost over $1,000. So I mean, I believe a throttle lock is going to be more in line if you were to be getting a NC750. So I have to say, she feels very nimble. I just went there to my left and she actually felt really great, and the response to be able, you know, to come back up, she felt good. So Beautiful motorcycle. I have to say, this Honda red is unbelievable. It's one of the best colors in motorcycles out there. Just like you could say the same thing for the Kawasaki green or the KTM orange. So it's a beautiful color. I have to say that I also like the fact that it doesn't look like, you know, most motorcycle riders now. And we could see one right here, so there's going to be one right here, so you're going to be able to see you have your single disc. You know, you're going to be able to see that it's patched, the dual clutch transmission on the side, and it does kind of look like a bird. If you ask me, it almost looks like a, you know, like an eagle or a hawk. You're going to be able to see that you're going to have your radiator right there, so that's going to be easy to, you know, fill and change your fluid. In my FJR, you literally have to remove a like little glove compartment that it has over here on the left hand side, and then you're able to reach your radiator. So the fact that the radiator is going to be so far out, you know, it's a great feature. I like also the fact that, like, unlike many motorcycles now, this is a naked motorcycle. Yeah, you do get a little bit more wind, you know, buffeting that you typically would from other motorcycles. But when you're doing maintenance on your own motorcycle, it makes things a lot easier. So guys, if you enjoy this type of content, just give it a thumbs up. That way the algorithm knows it's good, and I will see you guys on my next ride.